rain turns to snow tonight with more snow showers on the way for Monday morning. I'll take you hour by hour and show you the impacts as that system moves through.
And in Louisville, the body count is no longer expected to rise after the devastating UPS plane crash.
We pray for each of the victims' families and pray that no additional victims are lost.
As 14 families grieve the loss of their loved ones, while many are still waiting for closure. Flight cancellations continue at CVG due to the ongoing government shutdown, the strain being felt by travelers into the holiday season.
This is WLWT News 5, leading the way.
The rain has been on and off all day on this gloomy Sunday, but that wet weather will soon turn to winter weather. Good evening and thank you for joining us at 6. I'm Aaron Thomas. It's not even Thanksgiving yet and snow is already in the forecast. Let's go to meteorologist Adam Burniston, who has more about what to expect for your commute tomorrow. Hey there, Adam.
Yeah, hey Aaron, tracking this system right here. We've had that dreary weather, as you mentioned, around for today. A little bit of mixing, trying to get in it this evening, but the main line still off to the west, and that's really what's going to be coming in later tonight and into tomorrow morning. So we'll still see a mix out there for this evening. Not very impactful. You'll hardly even see it. It's so light. It's so fine out there, with some light flurries to light snowfall late tonight. But as we go into your Monday morning commute, that's where this system drops a little bit further south. We see a little bit more of these more moderates to, at times, heavy bands of snow coming through during that morning commute, that bus stop forecast, and then by the afternoon, much of it heading off to the south and east. But during that snowfall, it could start to accumulate on some grassy, elevated surfaces. Roadways still pretty warm, but we may have to watch for some of those bridges out there just because temperatures falling well below freezing tonight and into Monday morning. So ahead of my full forecast, we're going to be talking more about this hour-by-hour breakdown, just how much snowfall could be expected out of this and how long the winter cold air is going to be staying around as we head back into the work and school week. So all of that and much more coming up here in just a few minutes. Aaron?
Adam, thank you. And remember, you can stay ahead of this wintry mix heading our way by downloading our free WLWT mobile app. You can check your live radar and see the latest updates from our team of meteorologists. Just make sure you have the alerts turned on, and we'll notify you whenever severe weather is moving into your neighborhood. And it's been several days since that devastating UPS cargo plane crash in Louisville. And tonight, families are grieving the lives lost. Louisville's Mayor Craig Greenberg now saying they believe all missing people are accounted for and the death toll is not expected to climb. We know that 14 people have been confirmed dead, but families are still looking for closure as many of those killed have not yet been identified. Deandra Turner from our sister station in Louisville has more on the families waiting to hear about their loved ones.
I don't know how you process it other than you take one day at a time and you stay strong.
The grief stretches across Louisville from co-workers to family and friends, all mourning those taken far too soon and others who are still missing after the UPS plane crash and fire on Tuesday.
First and foremost, our priority one is we want to know where our 3 missing teammates are. And we don't have closure to that.
As the investigation continues, the names and faces of the victims are emerging, beginning to tell the story of a community forever changed. Among those are 3 employees of Grade A Auto, CEO Sean Garber shared.
We know who all 3 of them are. One family's asked us not to discuss or release her name, and she was a wonderful young lady as well.
There's also 52-year-old John Laux. He was known as...
We called him John Boy.
John Boy was a heavy equipment operator described as loyal and hardworking.
And he was instrumental in helping us grow and bringing those customers in and doing the things that we did.
Megan Washburn, just 35, worked as a scrapyard metal buyer and a bilingual customer experience agent.
And she was a wonderful young lady, and she had 2 children.
Her children, her 20-year-old son and 12-year-old daughter, are now left to remember her in the wake of this tragedy. Among those still missing is Ella Petty Wharton. Family members say she often brought scrap to Grade A, and employees confirmed she had been there that day, but no one has seen or heard from her since the crash. Matt Sweets, a University of Louisville Business School graduate, is remembered as a devoted husband and father of 2. His sister called him Matty, a name now spoken with both love and heartbreak. And of course, the 3 pilots on board, Captain Richard Wartenberg, International Relief Officer Captain Dana Diamond, and First Officer Lee Truitt. all lives lost too soon.
And that was Deandra Turner reporting. According to Louisville's mayor, he says based on the number of family missing persons reports, they believe there are no more remains to be found. And we're leading the way on the latest developments in this deadly plane crash investigation online. You can find our complete coverage on WLWT.com and our free mobile app. Well, happening right now as the government shutdown stretches into its 40th day, the Senate is holding a rare Sunday session, and a deal to reopen the government is closer than ever. Senate Republican leader John Thune saying a potential deal was, quote, coming together. CNN reporting that several Senate Democrats are signaling their willingness to reopen the government. That deal would include a new stopgap measure to extend government funding to January and would not include an extension of the expiring Affordable Care Act subsidies. Of course, if you've been following this coverage, that's the main reason Democrats have voted to keep the government shut down. But sources say they are guaranteed the Senate vote on the issue at a later date. That vote going on right now. We will bring you the results both on air and online at WLWT.com. And the FAA cutbacks causing chaos at airports across the U.S. Today alone, more than 2,000 flights canceled. News 5's Daisy Kershaw is at CBG, one of the 40 airports facing impacts, and she's been speaking with frustrated flyers and joins us live. Daisy, how is that board looking?
Aaron, it's not looking great right now. A lot of folks have been glued to the arrivals and departures throughout the afternoon, trying to see when their loved ones would get in and if their flight would be heading out tonight. We're seeing a lot of orange and red in the mix. Those are the arrivals. So a lot of shakeups here at CVG. Flights now not coming in. And over here at the departures, those flights here leaving from Cincinnati Airport, they are also seeing a lot of red and orange on the board over here on the departures side as well. So definitely lots of frustration and anxiety tonight. Some travelers say that they've been keeping airline alerts on to stay ahead, but for others, just arriving and looking at the board is how they say they found out that their flight was canceled. For others, there are a lot of on-time flights still at this point, but the uncertainty even has a lot of those travelers searching for backup plans. Some say that that their canceled flights started with several delayed notifications. So with holdups, people say that they don't know if they're going to get in the air tonight. We met one family locally who's also now awaiting a delayed flight after their flight from CVG last night was forced to turn around. They say it was an unknown issue. They were back in the gate within 20 minutes of taking off.
We got on the flight pretty much on time and got about 5 or 10 minutes into the flight. I heard a noise, and then the captain came on and said we were having to turn around and go back to Cincinnati.
But the pilots did a great job at least getting it down safe, and everybody was safe. But we were pretty scared. It was a scary experience.
Definitely a scary experience there. They were telling me tonight, rather, that this rebook flight that they're on now was delayed about an hour and a half. Hopefully all is well there. We'll be here throughout the evening tracking some of these impacts. We also reached out to airport officials to learn what happened with the flight that was grounded last night. We'll have more on that at 11. Daisy Kershaw, WLWT, News 5.
And air traffic certainly can be hectic. Thank you, Daisy. And similar issues being seen at airports nationwide as the shutdown continues to drag on. And it's all happening just as airports should be preparing for the busy Thanksgiving holiday travel season.
Passengers at airports across the country are dealing with mass flight delays and cancellations.
Our first flight, it got delayed an hour and then another hour, and now it's delayed 3 hours, so we are missing our connecting flight.
At Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey, hundreds of flights were affected Saturday.
I had a flight going from here to Charlotte, and then they canceled my flight.
With the government shutdown, millions of federal workers are not getting paid. TSA agents and air traffic controllers are still expected to come to work, but many are calling out because they can't afford gas to come in or childcare costs.
They feel desperate, hopeless, mad, and there's just appears to be no end in sight.
The sick calls are causing staffing shortages at airports and aviation support facilities across the country, and without enough staff, they cannot operate safely.
I have more complaints coming into the FAA from pilots who are saying that air traffic controllers are not as responsive.
The FAA says it will gradually reduce air traffic by up to 10% by November 14th at 40 major airports. The decision could cut thousands of flights a day. The weather is also playing a factor. Parts of the Midwest and northern New England are seeing snow or heavy rain. There was also dense fog in Los Angeles Sunday. All of this coming right before Thanksgiving.
It's only going to get worse. You're going to see air travel be reduced to a trickle.
And as the government shutdown drags out, more confusion over SNAP benefits. President Donald Trump's administration's demanding states, quote, undo full SNAP benefits paid out earlier this month. Now, this has been playing out back and forth in court. A judge ruling at the end of October that the SNAP benefits must be funded by the government during the shutdown. Then Friday, the Supreme Court put a stop to that ruling. But some states have already given out those benefits. Kentucky distributing partial benefits to families that rely on the federal funding. Meanwhile, in Ohio, the state saying last week they plan to fund SNAP benefits by this week. Right now, it's unclear if those plans have changed after the Supreme Court's ruling. Well, still to come after the holidays draw near, one local organization is stepping up, how they're helping people put food on the table and how you can help. And setting the record straight, the priorities Cincinnati's newly re-elected mayor highlights in an exclusive one-on-one conversation only on WLWT. Adam?
And wintry mix turning to snow through tonight and into Monday, providing up to a dusting, possibly even more on some grassy surfaces. I'll walk you through that latest hour-by-hour forecast and more of the impacts we could see as we head back into the work and school week. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT News 5 at 6.